Hello and welcome to Star Citizen. My name is Even Lease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, I have the Constellation Taurus, a pretty awesome medium-sized freight hauler. Let's go ahead and take a look. Welcome back, everybody. In front of me, I have the RSI Constellation Taurus. Now, before I start on that, I do want to thank everybody so far for entering into both giveaways, or even if you've just entered into one, you guys are seriously amazing. I love being able to give back to my viewers. You guys are great, so thank you for that. Make sure you guys keep entering, whenever there's a giveaway. And, I just love seeing all the comments on all the videos. And also, anytime I get into game and I, throw out a salute, you guys are always very nice, and I love it. So, appreciate that. Moving on, this ship here, the Constellation Taurus, it did benefit from the move over to 3.23. And I think, it stood the test of time so far. This ship has really grown, and it's become a favorite among many. A lot of times people choose between this or the Corsair, and there's a pretty good, it's a pretty good reason, right? Because this ship, and I'm going to go over, there's only one thing I can really go over because I looked at my old review for this ship and I did a terrible job. I apologize for that. I didn't give you guys much for stats in the old review, but this time I'm going to go over all the stats, including the price here in just a second, but also one of the biggest changes that this ship got in 3.23. So first, let's talk about that price. If you were to pledge for it on the store, buy it outside of the game, it is $200. Now, if you buy it in-game, it's $8,043,840 aUEC. It's actually a really great price just because of what this ship can really do for you out there in the verse. It's very versatile. It's a big ship, but it's versatile. And you can do it with, a crew, friends, or solo. It's great. It's fantastic. Now, starting with the damage that this thing outputs, that is 1,748 damage per second stock, which is pretty great, especially since prior to 3.23, this thing had 4 size 4 CF447 rhinos, but now it's sitting at 4 size 5 CF557 Galderines. Galderines? I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I'll get corrected. But they are fantastic sized guns. As you can see, they're huge. And they do an amazing amount of damage. Watching this fight here, this thing is astonishing at PvE or even PvP. Obviously, you're a big ship. You're a whale. You move slow, and you have not the greatest maneuverability. But you hit hard. So if you hit your target consistently in a fight against a player or against an AI, you're going to do great damage. It's going to be very consistent. And as you have a huge capacitor, and it's just a fantastic ship in that regard. And before you hit your target, you can lay into them with a bunch of missiles as you're on the way, because you do have 24 size 2 Strike Force 2 missiles. That is a phenomenal amount of missile payload for a cargo carrying freight hauler, style ship here. It's also got a manned turret on the top with 2 CF 227 Badgers and a manned turret on the bottom with tractor beam. What does this ship not have? Right? Of course, speed, maneuverability. She's big. She's got a lot of bugs. And honestly, she's just a great ship. But, one of the negative points of this ship that people choose between this or the Corsair is that it has all elevators. To get into this ship, you're taking an elevator on everything. Here, the entry point, the cargo elevator, it's all elevators compared to something like the Corsair, where you have one elevator and a ramp. People prefer the ramps over elevators in this game, and there's a very long-standing reason for that, because elevators tend to either kill you, yeet you, or swallow your vehicles, or, it just becomes a mess. So that is one of the only big downsides to this ship. Otherwise, it's a fantastic ship. I would choose this ship every day of the week if you could put a little bit more trust into the elevator, right? Getting into the defensive capabilities, outside of that man turret, because that man turret, honestly, pretty small weapons, but if they lay in consistent fire, they'll still be quite the effect. But you do have 100,000 shield, and it's a quadrant shield. So it's 25,000 on each face, front, back, left, right? So as long as you're making sure that you're not letting your enemy hit you on one side and that's it, you're going to be great. You're going to be golden. Unless they have a full ballistics package, because then they're just going to shoot pretty much through the shield. But anyways, it's a fantastic amount of shield, and then you're like, well, what if they do have all ballistics and they shoot through my shield? How much health do I have? Well, this ship has 130,040 ship HP. So it is a fantastic amount of shield HP, and then a fantastic amount of ship HP. So you don't have to worry about either one becoming, the downfall of, you when you're out there. Now, looking around at the interior here, I got to say, the interior really does need a rework. I don't care if they really touch the outside of the ship too much, but the inside of the ship definitely needs it. You got a lot of bugs, like the table doesn't work anymore. You got see-through parts here that make you kind of wonder why this ship hasn't gotten love in a very long time. Of course, you got your 4 bunks here, which are also escape pods. Again, these style of escape pods scare the hell out of me. I don't know how this is going to work in any of these ships, and when it does work, I don't know if I ever want to use it. But otherwise, you have just a very bland interior here for the living quarters. I wish they would touch this sooner rather than later, because I feel like this ship would just look fantastic if they redid it. You have storage lockers here that do not connect to your actual storage system, so nothing there. And then you have a bathroom right here with, a toilet, shower head, and all that kind of stuff. Oh my God, sorry. Okay, they found out I don't like toilets, so they just shut the door in my face. And then you go into the pilot's area here, and you have a really big Drake design where you have wires sitting on the floor and just stuff looking unfinished. So, I mean, not really Robert Space Industries, in my opinion. I still don't understand this. Every time I've seen this ship and I've reviewed it and whatnot, this has always thrown me for a loop. You have your bottom turret right there, top turret here. I love how close it is to these seats. Obviously, you're going to have, co-pilot, pilot. So anytime you get into a, some sort of combat situation or something, it's as easy as getting out of your seat and getting to the turret. Same with cargo, if you need to get into the seat pretty quick, you can hop from there to there. Really nice. I like that. Obviously, there's more bugs here with the MFDs. These MFDs like to pop in and out. If you open up your, Moby glass or anything, these will disappear half the time, and sometimes they won't come back, sometimes they will. Again, this ship is just riddled with not much attention, a lot of bugs, and it's too bad because it's a really fantastic ship outside of that, and it's got a lot of potential. Even right now, it's still great. You can use it for many things. You just got to get used to its quirks, right? Especially since you are looking through 18 different panes of glass here. It's got struts everywhere. It's a fantastic view ruined by the RSI production of not sure how they make more than just one big windshield, right? They were able to pull off a little bit better view with the Aquila, but not much, right? So this is just, I wish they would open this up a lot more. It would look fantastic. I know it's not an Origin style ship, but this is just ridiculous. You don't need this many struts out here. Moving on, let's go back to the cargo area, and as we go back there, I'm going to tell you, you can carry 174 SCU on the cargo grid. Now, your main grid is right here on the main floor, and that down there can hold a bunch of different vehicles, the ROC, and everything else, except for the Ballista chassis as well as the Tonk chassis. You can't do any of those down there, but you can definitely carry like NERSAs, rocks, all sorts of stuff, and that's fantastic. Right here, you do have an airlock, and there is one on the other side as well. So if you need to get out here and take, a quick look at your gun, make sure everything's looking good, or you need to just open this door up and yeet your co-pilot out it because you're sick of his attitude, that's a great place to do it. You have a ton of missiles here. They're on both sides. It's more for show, but it looks fantastic, and I just love that that's sitting here. Like, it's a good spot. You can see they raise out of the roof, so that makes sense. Moving on towards the back, this is where a lot of your components are, right? Like on the walls here and stuff. Obviously, this ship doesn't have a gold standard pass. It doesn't have its components pass, so it's missing a lot of that. But some of it's also right here. You got a lot of components like gravity generator, power plant, and other stuff. No labels on here other than high voltage. Back here is a shielded cargo room, which looks pretty difficult to get some boxes back here. Maybe not impossible for 1 SCU containers, but I don't know. It's a pretty tight fit. So this would be your shielded area. If you're smuggling something and you don't want it to be seen by any sort of security forces, you'd want to keep it back here. This is typically where, like on the Andromeda, that the snub fighter would be. But on this ship, it just gives you a little bit more cargo. And also, you can't be a tall person while in here. You feel very tall in here. Wow. Yeah, otherwise, it's a great ship. It's got a lot of cargo. And talking about that speed and maneuverability I was touching on earlier, it's got 200 SCM, 400 forward boost, 205 backwards boost, as well as 1,000 nav speed. It's a very slow ship in the regard of going out there to combat, right? Now, you can definitely combat in this ship. It's fantastic in that regard. But she's just slow and she's heavy and she moves like a whale. So take that into consideration. If you're wondering why you're getting circle strafed by an arrow or, an F8 and you can't keep on target, that's probably why. You also have weapons racks here, so you can put your guns on this weapon rack, and that's fantastic. At least that works, right? So, a couple weapon racks. Surprisingly, you only have 2. You have a bunks of 4. You have 3 pilot seats, 2 gunner seats. Sometimes I just don't make sense to how they have their layout. Their crew requirement seems all over the place with some of the ships, but, when they do the rework, hopefully they'll rearrange that and really solidify what the crew requirement on these style ships are. Now, outside of that, you do have 3,000 quantum fuel, so you can definitely go quite a few places without having to worry about refueling. But if you looked back at the health pool on this ship when I showed you that, it has a lot of little pieces. So when you do go out there and you fight, there's a really big chance it ain't going to matter about how much fuel you'll have. You're gonna have to go back to repair quite often when you lose pieces of your ship pretty quickly, because there's a lot of health pool area all over the ship because it's got a lot of little pieces, right? So you're gonna start taking a lot of damage, and it could maybe affect your flight depending on what you lose. Now, the last thing I want to touch on this ship, it has VTOL thrusters. So right now I don't have them open. I'm gonna go ahead and open them. As you can see, they're really cool. I love their positioning, and I think they just look awesome. So press K, that opens them up. Press K again, that closes them. She gets up to speed pretty quick, but, she's pretty slow in that regard. She is considered a medium freight ship. She's not a fighter, like, classified. So, but she can definitely put up a fight. Look at those guns, they're huge. Other bugs on this ship right now, you got like some lighting bugs in the front of the ship. If you look right there in third person, you can definitely see them hovering in space. But I mean, yeah, she's just kind of riddled with them right now. A lot of bugs, a lot of, I'd say mistreatment, but it's really honestly just a ship that's just, they haven't had time for. And that goes for the whole series of Constellation ships. Hopefully, they'll touch on these ships again soon. If I were to give this ship a review score, in my own personal opinion, I was really thinking about this hard all day, all week, honestly, and I was going to sit around a 7 out of 10 just because of all of its issues. No gold standard, no, components pass, nothing, right? The kitchen, everything is a destroyed mess, and there's just so many bugs, and I feel like, that elevator ramp style thing is a big fight in the community between this and the Corsair. But I came to my final decision at 8 out of 10 just because of how versatile it is. So this ship, in my opinion, is an 8 out of 10. She's very versatile. She's got massive guns. She's big, can carry a lot of cargo. She's got, good stock DPS, great amount of missiles, good shield generator, good shape HP. You know what? They just need to give her some love, and I think she will be probably one of the top ships for a long time until we start seeing a lot of the newer ships that are backlogged for quite a long while. Like this ship, you might not see ever again once the Galaxy makes its way, or the Perseus, or, all these other ships in the RSI lineup that could potentially say goodbye to this one and make it a very straight-up classic. This will probably take the route of the F7C Hornet, right? This ship will probably be taken off the market as you see all those other ships take the reins. I'm joking. They probably won't do that. Now, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Do you have this ship? If you do, you know, what do you love about it? What do you hate about it? Yeah, let me know. Thank you guys again for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.